to my channel. I'm Millie from Mills Crochet, and today we're grabbing something green, settling in, and talking about St. Patrick's Day makes. In today's video, we are covering some festive St. Patrick's Day patterns that I tested out myself. I'm gonna walk you through how they worked out for me, some of the stuff that I used to make them, and how difficult they were for me as an intermediate crocheter, just in case you yourself are interested in making them. I also found quite a few other patterns that I really wanted to make. There were actually a buttload of St. Patrick's Day patterns that I really wanted to make, but I just didn't have time for. But I really wanted to give all of these crocheters that were so creative with their patterns a shout out, so you can go to their Etsy or their website and get this pattern if you are interested in it. I will be doing those at the end of the video, so just stay tuned for that inspo. So whether you're crocheting for a market, for festive friends, for decoration, or just for yourself, this should give you plenty of ideas for what to make for the St. Patrick's Day 2026, which is so crazy to say. So if you see me looking to the side at all, it's just because I'm trying to make sure I'm reading off the correct information, because I took a lot of notes while I was crocheting all of these, so just bear with me. I just don't want to, go off script too much and ramble too much like I have in my past videos. So the first pattern that we're going to cover was actually the very first one that I saved because it was so cute. This one actually came in a duo. I think you can buy the pattern separately on their Etsy, which, I mean, for the price that I got the duo at, I would just get the duo. It is Duck-O Luck by DD Crochet. Now, I got this for $5.47 with the bundle for, I don't know, something just fell down upstairs. I got this with the bundle with Duck a la mode, which is like a little like French inspired ducky with like a beret and everything. I wanted to make that too, did not have time. But you can get this pattern for like $3-ish on its own on DD Crochet's Etsy. So this pattern was super beginner friendly. I loved how the creator, she had plenty of really in-depth photos throughout the entire pattern and had quite a few linked videos for tutorials for this pattern on her YouTube. So if you're a beginner and you're looking to make something nice and cute for St. Patrick's Day, I would give this a thumbs up, just because there's so many different types of tutorials throughout this pattern. For my materials, let me hold this up a little higher for you. I used 10mm eyes, which I feel like I could have gone a little bigger. I think he still looked really cute. But yeah, I used 10mm eyes. And then I used Elise Softy Plus with a 4mm hook. I think this will be really great for any St. Patrick's Day markets that you're gonna have. I can see this being like one of those really cute items that somebody or like somebody's kid walks by and they pick it up and they look at it for a second and they're really loving it and they just can't put it down. So I think that this would be a great selling item for markets for St. Patrick's Day. And I also wanted to point out the shaping of this was so good. And like for a beginner friendly pattern, doing this kind of shaping, I think it was fantastic. I did not have to adjust my stitches for my tension at all throughout this when I sewed in the wings. And then the hat itself was easy enough to sew on. This was a separate piece. It was only like 2 rounds, I want to say, and you just sew it on right in between the eyes. And then this, you really, like, it was so self-explanatory. Like, you could have freehanded this, but she had really good in-depth instructions for the bow as well. But yeah, Duck-O Luck. I really recommend getting it in the bundle with the Duck a la mode, because that one was wicked cute too. But yeah, I think they were all my favorite, but this was probably one of my favorites that I made for this video. So this next pattern is pretty cute. It was another, like, I instantly have to make this. I saw it on Instagram a couple of times and on Pinterest and Etsy, like Etsy ads. It is the Pop It Shamrock Hat by Summer's Crochet Creations. I'm so sorry, I'm looking at my notes. But I think this pattern is super well laid out. It's one of those patterns where like you literally go to, it's in a table, so you can just go line by line, and she was super in depth with all of her explanations. It's actually, the pattern itself, I have it right here. It is, let's see how many pages. It is almost 40 pages long. So very in-depth tutorial on how to make this. I used Zaddy Crafts, a really good chenille with a 4mm hook, and it took me about an hour and a half to make, which it did take longer than I initially anticipated just based off of how it looked, but an hour and a half for a project is no bother to me because I can just watch an episode and a half of whatever I want to. I'd give it about a 3 out of 5 for a difficulty, just because this part right here, your stitches are so close, and you have to have so many stitch markers in there that you really, really need to be like looking at it and paying attention. But other than that, like once you get the hang of it off of like the first clover leaf, like you just kind of truck along from there, and it's pretty easy after that. I will say they say do not stuff this because the poppet mechanism won't work. I don't know if it's because maybe my pipe cleaners just aren't strong enough, but if you notice, I have to kind of like mangle this whole thing to really get it to work. Otherwise, it's just gonna crumple in on itself. So I think I might actually open it up and stuff it just a little bit to give it some further stability. Other than that though, like I think this is a great little idea. I don't know if I already said this, but this is a great thing to have around for anybody that likes fidget items, or just like people in your office, or like even on your coffee table for people to walk by and play with. I think it's a great make. You can find this for about $5.50 on their Etsy. And, oh, I did say I wanted to point this out. They had some other really cute seasonal items in their shop. So I would definitely go check their shop out for basically every season. They had a lot of really cute stuff. But that is the Shamrock Poppet Hat by Summer's Crochet Creations. So I thought this next one was really cute. I will preface this with saying, like, I never knew what jelly cats were until like this fall when I made something by Therapy on my hook. But I'm now like super into it. I think they're really fun and cute for like a desk buddy or whatever. But this is the Rainbow Buddy by Snail Mail Studios. I thought this turned out really cute. This was another make that I did in Zaddy Crafts. I think I'm just now realizing that I put the eyes on lopsided. This thing's been chilling next to me for a whole week, and I didn't even realize the eyes were on lopsided. So that's cutesy. He's a little tipsy from the St. Patrick's Day celebrations. Anyway, so this one was super easy to follow along with. I did have a little trouble at the bottom, but once I got the hang of it, I was good to go. This was kind of a new method for me, so as you can see, it's just a little wonky on this side, but I get a little bit more structured as I get closer to this side. This was another Zaddy Crafts make. I used a 5mm hook just because I wanted this to be a little bigger. And then I used 18mm eyes. This pattern was $5.72 on Etsy. And this was another shop that had some other really, really cute seasonal items that I definitely will be trying. This pattern was wicked easy. Honestly, I'm going to give it a 2 out of 5 for difficulty, even though the bottom was a little different for me to try. But like once I got the hang of it, I was like, I know what I'm doing. So not a big deal. But you can do some really cute stuff with this, like adding some clouds to it, or even like you could sit it on top of a pot of gold or something. That would be really cute. And again, like this is just an adorable desk buddy. I would love to, like, if I worked at an office job still, this would be on my desk, or I would put it in the break room or something, just because he's so friendly to look at. You can't help but smile. But again, Snail Mail Studios, and they do have other really, really cute seasonal items in their shop that you should try. So this next one, when you look at it on the listing, it is another, like, jelly cat type of pattern, but I decided to not add a face or anything to it. I'm trying to pull up the pattern right now. It is Luke the Lucky St. Patrick's Day Pot by Wooli.amigurumis. Now this was $6 on Etsy, but they also had some other really, really cute patterns and some yarn holders, like accessories that you can use in their Etsy shop, which I think I might go hit up because I have been thinking about getting myself a yarn spinner lately. This was so easy to follow along with. It took me around 2 hours total to complete. I didn't really want to add the face or the legs. I just wanted this to be like a little cute little standalone thing. I didn't want it, you know, not everything needs to have a face on it. I feel like we're seeing a lot of that in the crochet community where everything just needs to have a face on it lately. I just wanted it to be a pot of gold, that's all. So the pattern itself is just for 3 leaves on this clover, but I wanted to add a 4th one just for a little bit of extra luck. I did add a pipe cleaner in the back for some more stability because he was flopping over. So I used a 5mm hook, and again, I used really good chenille yarn. I would give this a 2 out of 5. Honestly, this was wicked easy to work up. It's very heavy on the sewing, but I think that's an underrated skill to have as a crocheter. Like, a lot of people just bank on having items that are all crocheted in with the limbs and such. I personally really like sewing. It's very fun, especially if you have a good yarn to work with, which I will plug Zaddy Crafts, a really good chenille, as a great sewing yarn for a chenille. Honestly, it does not shed. I don't know. Have I noticed any shedding with this? No, not unless it's like when you cut a yarn initially, like some fluff will come off. I think it's the only time I see shedding with Zaddy Crafts yarn, so I'm just saying. But this is just great for decoration in general. Again, if I still had an office job, this would be sitting right on my desk, or I would display it in our break area, just for people to look at and enjoy for the festive season. But again, it's by Wooli.amigurumis, and they had a lot of other really, really great items in their shop. For sure, check out their yarn spinners. So this next one is actually something that I free-handed. You can find tons of free patterns for this on Instagram, Pinterest, and right here on YouTube. But I made a Shamrock bookmark. Shout out to my favorite book, The Night and the Moth. But this was super easy to make. I think it took me less than 10 minutes, but this is great for any like bookish friends in your life. Really, it's just easy enough to make this. Like, you just have to make a chain and go around it, chain and go around it, chain and go around it, sew it together kind of thing. And yeah, it was all one piece, worked up very simply. This is your call to go onto Pinterest and just look up a free Shamrock bookmark crochet pattern, and tons of them will pop right up. Now, this last one really needs an introduction. He's got a lot of cake to him. It's so goofy to look at. I love how silly it is. I'm going to be listing all of these on my website, but I'm excited to put this one on my website. I think I'm also going to bring them over to the Old Soul Artisan Shop in Plattsburgh to sell at my booth. But without further ado, meet my Mankini Leprechaun. This pattern did take me a really, really long time to make, but I couldn't help myself. I saw this and was like, I immediately bought the pattern. I bought the Mankini Gnome one. This is by Fat Lady Crochet, because I definitely want to make the gnome, but she does have a specific leprechaun one as well. I'm pretty sure I did see a Valentine's Day one in her shop as well. But this, I did use Zaddy Crafts yarn. He's a very tan leprechaun. He looks like he went to, like, Florida on spring bake. Well, he did do that. He baked on the beach for a little bit too long. I wish I had time. I wanted to add, look at all that cake. I wanted to add, like, a little shamrock tattoo or a shamrock, like, tan mark. I thought that would be so funny because, I mean, I'm 28, but when we were kids, I don't know if you remember, like, putting like little stickers on yourself and sitting out in the sun so like you could get like little tan marks from the stickers. That's kind of what I wanted to do with him. This pattern was so fun. You can find it for $6.50 on her website, but I did mod this because I wanted the gnome and I only got the gnome pattern. I modded this. I just freehanded the hat, but everything else is her pattern. I did pipe cleaners for the sunglasses because I wanted to be able to take them off so you could see his eyes. He's very sleepy from sitting in the sun for too long. But yeah, no, this was a 10 out of 10 for me. I loved this. I love how goofy it is. I was giggling the whole time. I don't know if I said this already, but I would give this about a 3 out of 5 for a difficulty. Just because you're going to have to give your hands a break a couple of times during the process of making this. It definitely took me longer. I think it was 5 hours total, because if you look at the actual pattern, I think it's like supposed to be this tall because she makes it with acrylic yarn. But this would be so great for anybody that is a big fan of spring break, or I'm going to get demonetized. I'm just kidding. I'm not monetized yet. But, I mean, when I do get monetized, if you want to sponsor me, let me know. Anyway, or anybody who lives somewhere beachy, I just think this is so fun and goofy for your fun and goofy friends. But yeah, it is little. I just love it. It's so fun. Alright, so now it's time to move on to our notable mentions. These are things that I really wanted to make. I had a very long list for this video of possible items I did want to make, but just didn't have time to get to. So the first one to get to is the Lucky Crochet Cupcake Set by Mufficorn. I just thought this was really cute. You could even make it so like they're not sewn together for like little kids to play with. If you're like a preschool teacher or you have like little kids at home, it might be a fun idea. Next, we've got a St. Patrick's Day Gnome Set by EasyQuicklytoys. I thought this would be really cute for like bag charms. I think she's got other types in her shop as well, but I just thought that these were really cute. Right now it's on sale, it looks like, for $4.20, so I would hit up her shop. Another leprechaun pattern that I wanted to make but didn't have time to get to was a leprechaun crochet pattern by KendallCrochets. You can get it for $4.20 as well from her shop on Etsy. I just thought it was a cute little make. It looks like it doesn't take too long to make, so I would definitely check that one out. So another one I really wanted to make, but their shop is on break unfortunately, so I couldn't even get the pattern. But if it does open back up, you could have the possibility of making it for yourself. I just thought the hat was really, really cute for the actual leprechaun. It is the St. Patrick's Day Gnomes by NattyToys. Now, I thought the little leprechaun chick was cute, but I just loved the plaid hat on this leprechaun. I thought it was so adorable, and I really wanted to make it. I do hope they open up their shop soon because your girl's gonna be hitting it up. But this set was $12 in their shop. Their shop is closed right now, so I can't go check to see if you can get them separately. But I would say keep an eye on them. NattyToys, because they've got some cute stuff. So one I actually did get, but I actually wound up scrapping because I just didn't have time to complete the whole thing, was a clover pillow by Alimaka. I think it's like a Nordic type name. But I really liked it. It was a really, really cute pattern, but you can get a really big clover out of it and then like a really small clover. It comes as a bundle. I wanted to make the big clover for my couch, but because I didn't have time, it's just sitting on my coffee table at the moment. But I do recommend it. It's super easy to follow along with, and it builds up really, really quickly. So since I've been like dipping my toe into like wearables and like decoration more, I did want to try out a crochet plaid clover wall hanging by Love and Stitch Designs. I thought this was really, really cute, but I didn't want to get it and like realize I got myself in like over my head and not have time. So even if it were a quick make, like I just didn't want to gamble and have it, you know, take a really, really long time and not have it completed for this video. But this looks like it is $4.50 over in the Love and Stitch Designs Etsy shop. I definitely would make it. I think this would be really cute to hang like right inside your door. You can even hang like on the outside of your door if you wanted to. It'd be cute for a classroom, for like your office. If you have a cubicle, you could hang it on the wall of your cubicle. I think that would be so adorable. Now, back to the jelly cats. I really wanted to make this. Again, no time for myself, but it's the clover leaf jelly cat type pattern by Therapy on My Hook. I really love her patterns. They work up very well. They're super easy to read and work through. I would say they're really, really beginner friendly. And this one actually, I think, yes it is. It's a 2-in-1. So you can do it as just like a 3-leaf clover jelly cat, or you can add a 4th leaf to it. So I think it's great that she gave directions for the 3 or the 4-leaf clover in that pattern. Now another like wearable decoration type with like worsted weight yarn I found was, you could probably find free patterns on Pinterest and Instagram as well. I just thought this pattern was really cute. It is Shamrock Coasters by Penny & Company store on Etsy. You can get the pattern for like $3-ish in their Etsy shop. I think this would be adorable for anybody that is a big coffee or tea drinker, to use on their desk or I guess on their dining room table for their mugs. But yeah, you could probably find free patterns as well on Pinterest, Etsy, here on YouTube. I just really happen to like this pattern. Now, last but not least is a pattern that I actually really, really wanted to make. It was like the start of looking for patterns for this video. It is a clover snail by Lenny's. I wish, because this was like at the beginning of my cart, and I was just kind of going through my cart from the beginning, or from like, because whatever you added last is at the top. So this was at the bottom, and I didn't realize it until it was too late. I might still get it and make it. It's less than $3. I think this is a cute little quirky make. I think if you're doing a market, it's definitely gonna like bring somebody over to be like, is that really a snail with a clover on its back wearing a hat? I need it. So I don't know. I might still make it. We'll see. I think you should make it though. So that's everything I have for you for my St. Patrick's Day pattern roundup. I had so much fun making these patterns. I think you're going to as well. I definitely think I'm going to go back through my Etsy cart and get a couple more of those St. Patrick's Day ones from my inspo list that grew way too long because everything was just so cute. If you try out any of the patterns in this video, make sure you let me know, like tag me in your like videos, your posts, whatever, because I want to see how they turn out in your style. Now, if you like this roundup style video, make sure you subscribe and like my channel, like this video, and leave a comment below. Which was your favorite? I'm really looking forward to making the next one of these videos, which is going to be the Easter video, which there are so many different patterns you could do. My friend Aaron just released a free bunny pattern. Shout out to the Crochet Carpenter. He's got an adorable little bunny pattern he just released. But anyways, I really hope that this video helped you at least spark an idea for what you want to make for St. Patrick's Day. If you have a market coming up, let me know what kind of market it is. Like, is it like truly a St. Patrick's Day market? Is it just one that's like happening in your area? And if you make any of these and if they sell at your markets, let me know how they did. Anyway, thank you so much for hanging out with me for this video. I really hope you have a happy and safe St. Patrick's Day. But for now, stay happy, stay safe, and keep crocheting.